seen some progress from. She's been growing and learning both the ins and outs. She's up to this point one of our favorite grammarians because she's very good at keeping track of all of the little nuancy things that we do wrong. And we're very happy that we get that input. Our Toastmaster this evening is Rachel.
Thank you all for being here on such a beautiful April evening. 72 degrees and sunny, and here we all together. But we get to enjoy each other's company and learn a bit while we're at it. So we have a special agenda tonight. We have Maurice taking us through a video of how to prepare a speech. So we'll look forward to that. And we also have Charles. Are you doing a speech?
Yes, my daughter, Janie Scott, 4 to 6 minutes.
I'm not doing a speech. I've got homework I need to do.
The speech, then homework.
What?
The speech you had the other day.
I want to look tomorrow.
Good.
All right. We can come back to that maybe, if you'd like.
We're good.
Okay. All right. So what we can do is we can go through each of the roles and then review what each of us does during the meeting. So first up we have the grammarian.
That would be me. My name is John, for those I haven't met. The grammarian, so I guess first we can cover the word of the day, right?
Sure.
Pejorative is the word of the day. And a good example of that is it's expressing disapproval, disparaging, or derogatory. For example, he swung back to face the walkers who were stirring now, as if responding to his pejorative comments. Another example would be, in particular, teachers report that pupils routinely use the term gay in a pejorative manner. Is that clear enough for everybody? Or another example if you need it? Okay.
And could you also tell us a little bit about what the grammarian does?
The grammarian will keep track of the small little filler words that everybody tends to use without knowing it. Things like so and examples like that. And I'll give a report at the end of the meeting. Keep track of everybody's words as they come up to speak.
And bonus points for using the word of the day.
Bonus points for using word of the day. Thank you.
How about the timer?
So I will be keeping track of everybody's time as we go through the meeting, which for our prepared speeches will be 5 to 7 minutes. I'll have a green when you've reached 5, which is the minimum, amber when you reach 6 minutes, and then red when you reach 7. And if you reach 7, then you need to wrap it up in the next 30 seconds.
And the first speaker is only 4 to 6.
Okay.
I'm not speaking. I don't have a speech.
And then we will have, for the evaluations, it will be 2 minutes, 2:30, 3. And for table topics, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and at 1:30 you'll get the amber. Then I'll give a report on that at the end, how close you guys were to your times.
Great. And Diego, how about the general evaluator?
Hello everyone, I'm Diego. I will be the general evaluator. I will be keeping track of the general tone and goals and time, I would say, of the meeting, keeping track of the fact that we're on time, that we're moving along at a reasonable pace. And also I'll be doing my best to evaluate the speakers based on some of the predetermined questions of each topic. For the speech, I'll be evaluating Maurice's speech in particular today.
Okay, great. And feedback is mostly encouraging and gives a few tips so that people can incorporate that. Is that pretty accurate?
Yes, that is really constructive criticism.
Mostly props.
Yes, constructive criticism, utmost importance.
Okay. I think that explains all of the roles. Does anybody have any questions about how, oh, I forgot table topics. I'm sorry, Cody.
Oh, yeah. So I will be leading table topics tonight, and that is an impromptu section where I will call on some fellow Toastmasters or ask for volunteers to come up I'm going to give a 1 to 2 minute speech on a topic that I choose. And for guests, you're more than welcome to join if you'd like, but you don't have to.
Thank you.
And with your special organization, I realized that with special production, I was wondering if we might flip and have first speaker before table topics.
Absolutely. That is a great idea. Okay. Well, with that, I think we can turn it over to our first speaker, Shani, if you'd like. This is my first time up here being a Toastmaster, so I think
You're doing great.
Yes. So, if you'd like to come on
And I'll
up.
say that we might have heard some pejorative comments. My daughter, 14, almost 15, gave a speech at South Alabama High School the other day and did well. They used some note cards. I like to give her another opportunity to do it. And she took the ACT after that and they asked kind of the same question. So she wrote about the same thing. And it's kind of, I believe it was the pros and cons of the internet.
No.
Okay, yeah.
About. Takes some courage to get up here, so thank you for that. We appreciate it. All right. Well, I guess, thank you. Take care, y'all. With that, we can take a deep breath. And this was a rough time to be Toastmaster, y'all.
Good practice.
It's a rough time to be a parent. It's been a while since I've been a parent of a teenager.
Yeah.
You had snake Rachel.
No.
I wasn't Toastmaster.
Well, hopefully it'll be easier after this. Yes. With that, how about we turn it over to our willing speaker, Maurice.
So do I do the whole shebang or do I
We got
just do
time.
the video?
We got time.
Yeah.
Give us the shebang.
We got 14 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I am here to present how to prepare a speech. Presenting a speech is a way to better connect with an audience. In organizing a speech, there are two purposes. One is the general purpose, and the other is the specific purpose. The general purpose is the broad intent of the speech, and the specific purpose narrows down that general purpose. There are 4 types of general purposes. 1, to inform. 2, to persuade. 3, to entertain. 4, to inspire. An informative speech teaches the audience a skill or an idea, or helps them to better learn about a skill or an idea. A persuasive speech attempts to change the audience's opinion, attitude, or behavior. An entertaining speech attempts to amuse the audience or bring enjoyment to the audience. This could be in the form of jokes or anecdotes. The inspiring speech attempts to bring the audience to a nobler ideal or goal, or bring them to their higher potential. Once the general purpose has been developed, the specific purpose can be developed. The specific purpose has 3 points. 1, it is worded from the audience's point of view. 2, it is specific. 3, it is attainable, where the audience should be able to know how to perform a task or to remember an ideal once the speaker presents it. Once the general purpose and the specific purpose are developed, there are 3 parts of a speech: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. In crafting a speech, it is recommended that you use an outline which will help a person to better develop their speech. The introduction is a synopsis of what's going to be presented in the body of the speech. During the introduction, you should be able to catch the audience's attention. This is the place where you can make a great impression for the rest of the speech. The body of the speech expounds on the main points of the speech. You can also apply subpoints to the main points. Given the time allotted, you should be able to give 3 main points for the speech. The subpoints of the speech could come up in the form of statistics, visual aids, examples, stories, anecdotes, or facts. Once the subpoints are made, the subpoints can contain supporting materials such as visual aids, statistics, facts, examples, stories. The conclusion of the speech summarizes the introduction and the body of the speech. At this stage, if you have not made some of your main points or subpoints, this is not the time to bring them up. It will confuse the audience. Also, you should not apologize for anything that you may or may not have done during the speech. Don't beat yourself up with pejoratives. In the conclusion, you finish the speech forceful and confident. Thank you for your attention. Now, at this time, will be the video portion of the speech, which this is the part that's supposed to be evaluated. Good evening, everyone. For the next few moments, I will explain how to prepare a speech. Presenting a speech is an effective way to better connect to an audience, whether this is done in a business or a personal setting. The organization of a speech should flow smoothly from the beginning to the end, especially for those audience members who would otherwise not know or understand the topic being presented. The speech contains a general purpose and a specific purpose. The general purpose is the broad intent of the speech. Most speeches contain 4 general purposes. 1, to inform. 2, to persuade. 3, to entertain. 4, to inspire. An informative speech teaches the audience a new skill or a new idea, or may teach the audience more about the skill or idea. A persuasive speech attempts to change one's opinion, attitude, or behavior. An entertaining speech intends to amuse or provide enjoyment to the audience. This could be in the form of jokes or anecdotes. An inspirational speech helps the audience to reach a noble goal, idea, or help the audience reach a higher potential. Once the general purpose is established, you want to create a specific purpose. The specific purpose is a one-sentence statement that makes the general purpose more concise and will help to present the specific purpose in 5 to 10 minutes, or allow you to present a speech in 5 to 10 minutes. The specific purpose attempts 3 main points. 1, it is worded to the audience's point of view. It answers the question, what do you want your audience to do or know after the speech is presented? 2, it is specific. It is concise. It is precise. 3, it is attainable. The audience should be able to do or remember what is being presented in the speech. An example of a general purpose is to learn how to perform maintenance on a car. An example of a specific purpose is to learn how to change the oil in a car. Once the general purpose and specific purpose are established, the speech has 3 parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Another thing to keep in mind when organizing a speech is the use of outline. That makes the creation of a speech much easier. The introduction of the speech is a synopsis of what will be presented during the speech. The introduction should capture the audience's attention. At this point, you should make a big impression on the audience. The body of the speech if there's enough time allotted, should give 3 main points during the speech. Also, the main points could have subpoints. The subpoints will help the audience remember or learn more about the main points. Some examples of subpoints could be in the form of visual aids, statements, testimonies, anecdotes, visual aids, or facts. Also, you don't want to forget transitions or smooth transitions during the speech. This will help take the audience from one part of the speech to the other smoothly. Examples of transitions are words, phrases, statements, or questions that will do one of several things. Take you from the introduction to the body, take you from a main point to a sub-point, take you from a sub-point to supporting material, take you from supporting material to the next main point, take you from the last supporting material to the conclusion. The conclusion of the speech is a review of what was presented during the introduction and the body of the speech. At this point of the speech, if you had forgotten any main points or subpoints, it is highly discouraged to use them or present them during the conclusion. It will confuse the audience. Also, you don't want to apologize during the speech. Finish the speech forcefully and confidently. Thank you for your attention. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Maurice. That was a great review of how to prepare a speech, and I'm probably going to use a few of those pointers coming up here pretty soon. So thank you for both your Cup of Cozy video and your speech to us this evening. Next up, we have Cody Broussard, who's going to be presenting our table topics.
It's a great day to be here. I'm looking for candidates for my new company, Broussard Corp. But first, I need to ask some interview questions. So who wants to answer my first question? Lawrence? All right, Lawrence. Why should we hire you at Broussard Corp?
Mr. Broussard, I know that when someone starts up a new business, their goal is to succeed. Money might have part of it. Of course, everybody wants to be successful with money. But when someone starts a business, they not only want to make money, but they want to have the pride of success. Mr. Broussard, if you pick me as one of your employees, I will help you to achieve that success. You see, I'm not just in it for the money. I, too, want to be part of a dynamic corporation that's going to skyrocket to the top of its field, as I know that you would want to happen. So, my expertise as a ship's captain, my expertise as a teacher, I know beyond any shadow of a doubt that together we can make your corporation the most successful corporation in whatever it is that this company does. Mr. Broussard.
Thank you, Lawrence. Thanks, Lawrence. You're hired for the marketing team, right? Good to recruit. Okay, next volunteer. Anybody want? All right, Maurice. What are your greatest professional strengths?
Mr. Broussard, my greatest technical strengths. Professional strengths. My greatest professional strengths are technical in nature, like math, science, computers. any type of computer work, Microsoft, Word, Excel, AutoCAD, anything technical in nature are my best professional strengths. Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you, Maurice. Next volunteer. This is a tough one, the dreaded question. What do you consider your weaknesses?
What's your question is about a weakness?
Yeah, so what
Mine?
do you consider your weaknesses?
As a USA company, my weakness definitely is my language because I come from China. English is my second language. So if you hire someone, you no need to talk to other people. I'm fit. No talking, no phone call. Just sit there, face to the computer. I'm definitely qualified. Thank you.
We might fit into our international relations. We have to network with China. All right. We got time, maybe one more. All right, Diego. Tell me about a conflict you faced at work and how did you deal with it?
Thanks, Mr. Broussard. Unfortunately, one of the conflicts I faced in my internship at Mobile Baykeeper was that one of the teammates that I worked with complained to our supervisor and explained that she felt that she wasn't being fully respected by me. And so the supervisor came and spoke with me about this and voiced the concerns of my coworker to me and asked me up front if she felt that her concerns were well-founded based on my behavior around her. And honestly, I explained, I owned up to it. I explained, I'm honestly, maybe I do come off as stone-faced, or I might be very unapproachable because I'm very, when it comes to work, I'm very, I want to say, I guess stone-faced again. Just the point of that, I'm not very emotionful or full of emotion when I'm at work. And so I think the weakness that I had in the conflict was the fact that I wasn't seeming to be fully respectful of my coworker. And so I spoke with the supervisor and I explained, this is actually a problem and I recognize that I'm going to do everything in my power to change it. And following that interaction, I spoke with her individually and explained, this is the way I behave. I have nothing personal against you. Please don't take it personally. And it's just the way that I work when it comes to an office environment. And we reconciled in that way. And I think that's the most important conflict that I faced, but an important learning opportunity for me as well to recognize that I need to be more approachable and recognize that some people's concerns about not feeling respected around me are true and that I need to be more approachable in that way. Thank you, Mr. Broussard.
So that wraps up our section with table topics. I will now relinquish the lecture back to our Toastmaster Rachel.
Well, that was an interesting job interview. You'll have to let us know how your decision was. Congratulations on the new jobs, everyone. With that in mind, we can move on to our evaluation section, and we have Diego who will be heading up this part of our meeting.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. With the slight hiccup that we had at the beginning of the speeches, I would say that overall our meeting has been going very well. I think we've been on time. I don't have a copy of the agenda with me, but just on feeling, Seems we're doing a good job on time. I really enjoyed the table topics, a good diversity, a new change of, a new way of thinking when it comes to table topics. So good job, Cody, on that. I really enjoyed Maurice's speech. He did a good job of speaking for the allotted time and keeping us on track. I think we did a really good job on explaining succinctly and precisely what each role we have here. I think that's all I have to say about the general evaluation. So if there are no objections, I'm just happy to move on to the first evaluation. So I had the pleasure of evaluating Maurice's instruction on the internet speech. I honestly had no idea that I would be evaluating the video, but so I did a double evaluation. What were the objectives of the training program? How effectively did the speaker fulfill the objectives? So I enjoyed Maurice's clear explanation that the goal of this video was teaching how to make a good, what steps need to be taken in order to build a good speech. And I think the speech does clearly explain what it takes to make a good speech. And I think it was really augmented in the sense that he provided good examples and suggestions on what makes a really stellar introduction, point paragraphs, and conclusion. How is the training program directed towards the needs of the audience? What I really enjoyed about Maurice's presentation was that he spoke very fully. There was not a problem with the mic, not receiving all of the voice. And he did a good job of organizing the speech and also speaking very clearly and providing definite pauses and not speaking at a conversational speed. Was the training program organized clearly and logically? Was the audience given the information necessary to accomplish what the speaker wanted done? I think the presentation was very well done. It was a very nice inverted pyramid where he spoke generally of speeches and then went more and more precise in giving specific examples, going from broad to specific. And I think this speech communicates exactly what are the elements of a good speech, which clearly accomplishes this speech's goal. Comment on the speaker's voice, gestures, and facial expressions. Were they used with moderation, or did they overpower the viewer? Was the voice modulated in a pitch and volume? I think Maurice's voice was not very diverse. It was very monotone, but I can see why it might be necessary for this type of medium. It's important to speak very clearly. I also enjoyed that his gestures were very minimal, which helped us focus more on the content and his voice. And I did think there was a lack of diversity in facial expressions, but that's okay. The important thing is to focus on the content of the speech. And then finally, did the speaker appear relaxed, confident, and poised? How well did the speaker relate to the camera? What, if any, distracting mannerisms did the speaker display? Like I said, no distracting mannerisms overall, and I really appreciated that he was focused 100% on the camera. And with that, that's the evaluation I have to share with Maurice's particular speech. Madam Toastmaster.
Go to, here, you want to use
all
this.
evaluations.
You're going to do all the evaluations, so you can go down the list.
Grammarian report, the timer's report.
Oh, the judge. Okay. Next, let's hear from the timer's report, please.
For the timer's report, the live portion of Maurice's speech was 6 minutes and 52 seconds. So actually slightly underneath his 7-minute limit, while his video version was 7 minutes and 37 seconds, so just barely over that 30-second extra from the 7 minutes. For our evaluation, Diego, your evaluation.
Thank you, Thomas. Can we hear next, please, the grammarian report?
Yes. Excuse me. I'll start out with Maurice. No filler words. And word of the day. There was one time in the video, I'd have to go back and look at it again. You may have said visual aids.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Okay, when I heard it again, I'm like, wait a minute. I wasn't real sure, so.
I said twice.
I'll just kind of go down the list as I did. Diego, your conflict at work table topic, you had 3 so's. And on your evaluation portion, you had 4 so's and 1 Rachel, in your opening remarks, you had 1 so, 2 and 3 ums. After the first speaker, you had 1 so. And your third time up, you had 1 and 1 Let's see. Maurice, table topics? You had 1
Okay.
Not bad. Yu Ying, you had 1 and 1 so. Let's see. Lawrence, your table topics, no filler words. Good job.
Surprise. I did a talk at the Toastmasters across the bay, and because the ambassador didn't show up, I had to give the whole hour talk. And the lady who was the grammarian, 120 ahs in 1 hour. And I'm like, oh, okay, I think I need to work with that.
Cody, you only had 1 so. And Cheney, if she were here, I would tell her that she did not have any filler words. So that concludes my grammarian
3
report.
seconds, that's how long the talk was.
23 seconds, okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, John, for the great grammarian report, and thank you, Thomas, for the great timers report. I'm going to turn it back now to the Madam Toastmaster. Is that cool? Okay. Thank you.
What?
Please, John, would you mind sharing with us the word of the day and who spoke it?
Oh, yeah. Maurice spoke the word of the day. And pejorative was the word of the day. Expressing disapproval, disparaging, derogatory.
Thanks, John.
Did I miss anybody else that may have used it? Is that...
I think we had somebody who was it.
Charles used it twice, so I apologize.
Thanks, Madam Toastmaster.
Charles used it twice.
He did, you're right. I forgot about that.
All right, what an interesting meeting tonight. Thank you all for riding that wave with me. That was intense there for a second,
Yeah,
but
well,
we made
I
it.
put you on the spot there.
Oh boy.
You're very poised about it.
Yeah.
That is good because I was inside, I was terrified. But, you know, I guess I'll learn by doing. With that, Thomas, do you have our education picture?
Yes, I do. So actually, since I'm up here, I'm going to ask Rachel if she wants to come back up or if she just wants to turn the rest of the meeting over to me.
It's all you.
Okay. Because I'm the only one that's supposed to be up here for the rest of the meeting, besides Rachel. So for our educational overview tonight, I'm actually going to talk to you about why Toastmasters really makes a difference. So last week I missed. For those of you who don't know why I missed, I was in Atlanta. I was giving face-to-face, one-on-one time with anybody in the city of Potter Springs or the city of Austell. Time to talk with the guy who came up with a plan to help them not flood his bunch. That's me. I had assistance from engineers, from biologists, from real estate specialists, from economists. The person who came up with the plan was me, so I have to justify it to everybody. So for 2 hours, people came in to a room to talk to all of us, and generally the conversation ended, and if you want to know more about the engineering, they're right over there. Or if you want to hear more about the economics, go talk to that guy, depending on who was bored at the time. But for 2 hours, I was having one-on-one conversations, table topic style, where it was just 2 to 3 minutes at a time, answering a question. 2 nights in a row of doing that. Back a year and a few months ago, I'm coming up on a year and a half, when I started Toastmasters, that was never going to go well with me. I was very, very bad with interacting with people on a one-on-one basis, doing the table topic type answers. I generally would offend or confuse. And if you didn't come away with one, you generally came away with both. So, after a year, very different experience. So different that not only did I do that, halfway through the second night, a news station showed up. And they wanted to interview somebody, because that's what news stations do, right? And our lawyer had been present for the first night and the second night. And instead of having them talk to our project manager who's in charge of making sure it gets built and all of that, and who is overseeing this effort from the beginning, it's like, that one. You're gonna talk to him, because he's not gonna make us look bad. That was her thought process. Our chief lawyer is not gonna get mad at me if he talks. He might get mad if that guy talks. And the difference between the two of us is I've just learned how to think as I answer, of what not to say next, and what to say next, so I don't proverbially step in it. I think was we've all, the pejorative that we've all used from time to time. But it was because of Toastmasters that went well. 4 hours of interacting with people on an intimate basis. Giving a presentation I've always been good at, but that intimate interaction, you can ask my wife, I don't know how I got married because of it. Then I get back on Wednesday, and on Thursday, I answered almost every question that he asked today because I had a job interview. You know what a job interview is? It's rapid fire table topics. That they don't tell you what the question is ahead of time, and you better answer it, or you're guaranteed that you've just lost the job. Table topics is vital in our lives. It's what we live like. We don't live our lives in the prepared speech world, most of us. There are people who make their living that way. But most of us live a table topics life. So our educational overview is be open to volunteering. I didn't volunteer tonight because I've really had my fill of it in the last 2 weeks. But it really does prepare you for that real life interaction, the one that's going to possibly advance your career, or at least it's the one that's going to make a difference. We went into a room expecting everybody to hate us because we were telling them that we were buying houses. And we left after 2 hours with everybody who came and talked to us. They may not have been excited about the fact that their house might get bought, but they were okay with it, which is very much what we were going for. And it was just through that interaction, that table topic style, 2 minutes at a time. So, volunteer for it. It will make you better at least some part of your life. We do have some awards tonight. I need my picture for the awards because I wrote them down on my paper. So there's a few people who have joined our club and joined Toastmasters, and we have not given you your welcome tent. So, John Murphy, will you please come forward? John, I'd like to welcome you to Toastmasters.
Thank you.
If you'd like to say something, I won't stop you because this is a speech and communications place. But if you don't, you can return to your seat.
I'll say just a quick, brief thing. So, thank you for allowing me to join your group, first of all. It's been a learning experience so far. I've had a long way to go based on what I'm seeing, the way you guys have progressed in just even the short time that I've been able to watch you. So I look forward to being able to follow in your footsteps, so to speak. So, thank you.
Thank you, John. Susan, Murphy, will you please come forward? Welcome to Toastmasters.
Thank you so
As
much.
with John, if you'd like to speak, you can. If you don't, you can just return to your seat column.
Well, I'll say a word. I appreciate the warm welcome with which you welcomed John and myself, and I too feel like I've already learned. I appreciate what you had to say tonight, Thomas, because that's an encouragement that in just a short time, a year goes by quickly, that you would have kind of totally turned around your professional career. So I'm very encouraged by that, and I just thank you for the encouragement for tonight.
And he's been here a while, we've just been really bad about giving out awards, including the welcomes. Our general evaluator tonight has not been welcomed into Toastmasters and received his pin yet. Diego, will you please come forward? Welcome to Toastmasters, Diego. Would you like to say something?
Sure, I'll try to keep it brief. I suppose a really nice summary sentence I have to say is that I'm very glad that I was able to find this organization. Thomas, your topic on the importance of table topics really rings true. And every day, every week that I come in here, I wonder which is more important, table topics or the prepared speeches, and I feel in many ways both help out in many different situations, exercising those muscles. And I look forward and hearing you mention how much growth has happened for you gives me hope as well for myself. And I hope that, kind of echoing John's sentiments, I hope I can follow in y'all's footsteps. So thank you. Thank you, Thomas.
So that is all our awards for this evening. I will take a few minutes, 1 minute actually, just to remind everybody that membership-wise, so there's goals inside Toastmasters. For a club to receive recognition internationally for achieving goals, you have to have at least, for our club, 20 members. We don't have that. However, I took office of the president of the club about June of last year. And in that time, we've achieved more goals than our club has ever achieved before. We've actually gotten 4 competent communicators, an advanced communicators bronze, and advanced communicator silver, all this year. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to hand out the 2 advanced communicators because Mark was the one who completed them, and Mark has not been able to attend with us for quite a while now. But we have achieved more as a group. And to me, that's actually the important part. The 20 members, yay, yeah, who cares? But us developing ourselves through those goals has been really big. It's been big enough that actually Charles, who is here tonight, and our district director have noticed. They've noticed that, yeah, membership-wise, we're still doing what we always do, the up and down. But the fact that we're focusing on trying to be better and improving ourselves, and those goals as a group just show that we're actually achieving those. And so I'd like to thank you all for working hard on those goals and all the awards I've been able to give out so far. I look forward to giving out at least a few more before I'm no longer president in June. Maurice is working really hard on...
Well, this completes advanced communicator bronze.
So Maurice is working real hard on the first one,
So you got it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So I think we only have like 6 to 9 more speeches from some competent communicators to get to finished. And 9 or so from both Cody and I to be able to finish ours. Our next level. But start working on them. It's been really fun to enjoy. I enjoy giving the awards, not just because I like seeing you guys progress. Diego, actually tonight was my big thing for Diego, because I don't know how many of y'all were here when he joined, but he gave a speech his first week as a guest, as table topics, and had 30 filler words in 45 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So most of his speech was filler words. And so tonight, with the 2 minutes, 50 seconds with only like 5, it's just awesome to see that. So thank you for guys for letting me be a part of that. I will now relinquish the time to Yu Ying for a review of our next week's agenda. Just so you know, I was checking the speeches. Maurice will be giving us a speech next week. He will be the only speaker. His speech is a 15-minute long presentation. So we only need One speaker, so we'll only need one evaluator.
We just
So
need one.
one evaluator for next week. We don't need two. And Maurice is our speaker. He's giving us a, what's the name of it?
Setting goals.
Yeah, setting goals. It deals with the successful club type series.
Setting goal.
So 15 minutes on setting goals.
Well, 10 to 15.
10 to 15 minutes. So that fills both speaking slots.
I'll do the evaluation.
You'll still need a timer, a grammarian, a general evaluator, a table topics master, and a toastmaster. And as always, if somebody would like to do the education.
General.
Can I be
I'll do first. First.
Okay.
inspired by Rachel's great performance? Can I apply to be Toastmaster?
Yes, Diego.
Nice.
Rachel, you did amazing tonight.
Very good job.
Thank you all.
That was a tough one.
I'm concerned if
I
I can fall back.
was glad I wasn't up here because I would have